Don't worry, I was muted. I do that at least once a week. So everyone didn't have audio, Jesse. Thank you for that. I'll just start over. Hi. My name is Lindsay. I am a partner success manager here at Super. This is Package Builder Camp, where we talk about the package builder tool within Super. It is a partner specific tool. So if you are a Super user or a super curious is what I like to call people that aren't quite signed up with Super yet, you do not have access to this tool. It is partner exclusive. If it is something that is interesting to you, something that you can use within your business, absolutely let us know. We are happy to get you set up. Couple of notes about the platform that we use is called Contrast. Get contrast.io. They're great if you need a webinar partner. A note on how their chat works is about a 10-second delay from what you guys put in on your side of the audience chat versus what comes over on my side as the speaker chat, to kind of, I think, help with flow, honestly. But I encourage questions as we go along. So absolutely ask questions as they come up. Another note on this call is it's a little bit interactive, so absolutely pull up your Super account and follow along as we go. We do focus a lot on HubSpot resources within the package builder, but we do also talk about packaging up Super resources too at the end of the camp. This camp is recorded as we go. So if you have to hop to another meeting during the middle of it, don't worry, you will get the recording sent to your email by the end of the day today so you can catch up. Okay, cool. You know, it's, what is it, Thursday? That was such a Thursday mistake to leave myself muted. Vibes. Anyway, let's dive into it. So there's a couple of ways you can get to package it. First and foremost, though, I want to cover the question that I get asked the most with people brand new to Super is, what's the difference between a package and a base? If you have that question, you're in very good company. Most people do. So the difference mostly that would help for you to walk away from this call with knowing the answer is your package is a delivery mechanism. It's the way that you can get everything that you're creating within Super to a client, right? Whereas bases are housing. So it's where you create. Packages can be thought of like a, tis the season Christmas gift, right? You put everything into the box and then you deliver it. The box is the package. Great. Perfect. So in your homepage, you'll come down to packages. What this screen is going to be helpful packages, as well as every package that you've created so far. So if you scroll to the bottom, every Super account that has package access has this screen. Basically what these are is it's helpful packages that the Super team has created that we find to help our users. By no means do you have to install these. These are here as like a jumping off point, as an inspiration level, anything like that, and they're free with your account. So you're able to access them and kind of see what the Super team thinks is useful within a package and what we've included into packages as you are going through and thinking of how to create them. Now, to manage package, the permission set that you do need to have is package manager or higher within Super. So if you do not have this create package button, definitely talk to your Super admin. Typically is like your decision maker, right? To be granted that permission set of package manager or admin. All right, so we're going to create a package together. We're going to hit create package and we'll name this. My naming convention, I'm not good at naming things. So mine always end up being like test or demo. I do package builder camp and then my date. If you have a real life use case you want to follow along with as I go, absolutely do that. So if you have certain things within HubSpot that you want to pull into a Super package to deploy multiple times into multiple accounts, naming conventions that I've seen that work for that is usually like the I like to suggest doing the resource that you want to put in. So like dashboards or workflows or anything like that. And then the date as well. And you'll see why that's significant to put in the date in just a second here. I'll go over that. So I like to put the date and then you have your descriptions. A couple of notes on this screen. This is client facing. So as you are putting together packages and putting them into their Super accounts, they will be able to see what you've titled it and what you have put the description as. So, the best piece of advice I've ever been given in my entire professional career before Supered was if I wouldn't be comfortable reading it in court to a judge or saying it out loud to my grandmother, don't put it on the internet. I feel like that fits here, right? So definitely, we've all had bad days. We've all kind of wanted to sit there and be like, this is for the dumbest client I've ever met. I wouldn't do that, but I'm not you, if that feels good. The other note on this page is when you have given your title and your description, go ahead and hit this save button. What that does is it will save that title and description. If you move along in the process without hitting that save button, it will revert to the unnamed package. So you just want to go ahead and hit that save. Okay. So from here, we're going to hit build package. There's two places on this screen that we can go to get to that build package. Here in this menu bar or over on the button itself, they take you to the same spot. All right. These first three right here are Supered assets. And the last one is a Supered asset as well. Again, we will talk about those later in this call, but right now we're going to focus on HubSpot resources. So we're going to select this. What this is going to do is it's going to pop us into a new window of all of the HubSpot accounts that you have access to. So this is your source portal. This is the portal where you want to copy them over into a Supered package. So I'm going to pop into this guy right here. To my source portal. This has some assets that I want to copy over into a package. And over on that right-hand side, you'll see that Sidekick also popped open. My load time on HubSpot today, I don't know about y'all, but my HubSpot loading is so slow today. I don't know if it's a me thing or if it's, I don't know. Maybe I can blame Mercury, right? Mercury's in retrograde. Maybe I'll blame them. On the right-hand side, Sidekick also popped open, and it's given us our package builder. So in this dropdown, it gives you all of the HubSpot resources that Package Builder supports right now. This is where you'll go to select those resources that you want to copy over. So I'm going to come in, I'm going to grab a dashboard, I'm going to let that add, let it think. I think it's a me thing. And what this is right here, this is the Super Dependency Resolver. So what Supered has done is it has looked through that original resource and said, hey, you're going to want to bring over these additional fields that are dependencies on this resource in order for it to work, the way that's working in your source portal. We do give you the option to handle dependencies on your own. So if there's a little bit more control that you need to do in here, you can handle dependencies on your own. I like to add dependencies always, and then go back and edit if I need to. Just because if these dependencies then have additional ones on them, you can do a domino effect of errors when you're trying to install. So I'm going to hit add dependencies, and the dependency resolver will keep running through it until it's added everything in there. So if your dependencies had dependencies, and how many times can I say dependencies in one call, right? Anything like that. So you can add in dashboards. You can it also supports custom objects. And this I like to do a little call out on this tooltip right here that it includes all properties, property groups, associations, and pipelines that you have included with that custom object. So it just makes it a little bit easier on you. You don't need to hunt down and go into each different object here if you have them included on that custom object. Okay, so once you have some things added in here, you've probably noticed that this says BU primary. I like to make a note on, I keep saying that. It's like my new my new phrase of the day. I do want to point out though, Supered will support business units, but we will not create them. So if you are working with business units, just know that in order for you to use Supered, a Supered package with the business unit itself needs to exist already within the receiving portal in order for you to be able to assign assets with the Supered package into that business unit. So if you're not using business units, you can ignore this field and it will just always say BU primary. Okay. Cool. So say I've added all of the assets from this account into my Supered package. I'm going to pop back over into Supered itself. I'm going to kick this guy out of here. I'm going to refresh the package. This will give me the list of everything that I have added in here. In here, you'll see that we have a timestamp. The reason for this is packages are a moment in time. Supered does not keep an open API with HubSpot. And so these resources will look as they did on this day at this time. As we go through here, they do not update dynamically. So if I went through and I made an edit to my commissions custom object, tomorrow I went in, I need to make some changes. My resource within this supered package would look the way it did today. So if I needed that new version of it to show up in a supered package, I would need to go in, remove the asset, and then re-add it into the package. The other side of that coin, though, is if you have an account that has maybe one too many super admins in it, people are a little bit click happy, they're just playing around in something maybe they shouldn't be playing around in, they make changes that kind of break something you've put in for them, you can put the original back in quite easily with a super package. So it does help kind of like as a vault to protect your IP of these HubSpot resources that you've created. Okay, cool. So from here, there's a couple of options of installation, right? You can install a draft package. So say, you are working on it. You want to install the draft to make sure that it's installing the way that you want it to, all of that. You have the option to install a draft package. My preference is to publish the package draft. This is solely because I am someone that Control S or Command S is my favorite thing when I'm working on something. I will save every 5 seconds sometimes, depending on what I'm working on. And that's truly because I, in my undergrad years, have lost papers overnight, right? Where I didn't save them enough. So it's just trauma. It's past trauma. So I like to publish package draft. The importance of the published package draft as well is if you are finished, right? So you have added everything in here. You don't need to add anything else. You can publish package draft. It saves it. You can move along with your day. Okay. Questions so far? I haven't seen any come through, so I'm just going to keep rolling. All right, let's talk about installation and best practices for installation. Supered has one gold standard, right, for best practices of installation, and that is installing into a HubSpot developer account. Now, if you have not done these before, if you didn't know they existed, which that's fine. I didn't know they existed before I worked here. These are quite useful when you're doing super packages. They are pretty much full enterprise accounts. There's some things missing from them, obviously. They're active for 90 days, and you can go in and build and refine and create in kind of a safe environment. And you can have up to 10 at a time. So we're going to hit that one on the right-hand side. We're going to continue with our user. I am not going to use that one. That's my engineer's account. And we're going to pop into there. If you haven't created these before, it's going to walk you through some things like your job role, things like that. Once you get to this screen here, you'll scroll to about the middle of the page and you'll hit create test account. And that is those developer accounts that I'm talking about. So we will create that. I suggest titling it like super test, right? And then if you're testing a specific build, if you're testing a specific asset within HubSpot, anything like that, super test dash that, so that it's very easy to be found. I do package builder camp because that's where we're at. And it's 12/12 already. Wow, where is this year going? And then it gives you your expiration date. So that's about 90 days out from where we're at. Okay, so now that I have that created, and I never hit enter in the chat here, so let me drop that link so you can bookmark it if you haven't already. We're gonna go back over into Supered, and we're gonna start our install. So installation processes. I don't know why I said processes. There's just still one process. When you hit start install, you'll see if you have multiple bases within your Supered, you'll have a drop down here of the base that it can go in. So the reason that this exists is even if you have a package that's just HubSpot resources, every package needs somewhere to go, right? So I'll select that one and then I'm gonna hit start install. That's our first step. First step is if you had Supered resources, those will always go in first. Step 2 is grayed out because those are 4 supered resources that require a post-installation configuration. So that's for action plans. Action plans, we will have a separate camp for kind of going into building them, best practices, assigning them, all of that kind of good stuff. So keep an eye out for that. I believe those are starting in the new year. We'll post about them on LinkedIn. So that's grayed out. But for our HubSpot resources, to install those, we'll come to this little yellow box right here and this pink hyperlink. We are going to click here to install HubSpot resources. Again, it pops us into a window of all of the accounts that we have access to. And this will be your receiving portal. So it will be that developer account that we created, right? So I'm going to go into that PVC 1212. And it's going to pop me in. Load forever. And Sidekick on that right-hand side has become, the installation, like the installer, right? So it gives us our package name right here. And we are going to hit install package. And it's going to go through. And there we go. Errors happen. Errors are okay. This should give you like the basis of error, why it's coming back as an error. Most of them are pretty easy to interpret, but if you do run into ones where you're going, this is gibberish to me, you can absolutely send them over to us and we will look through them and help you kind of fix them. What this error is telling me is that the property type is different, right? So I changed a native HubSpot property type to a text field when it was expecting a radio dial. A couple of ways that I can go about fixing this. I can go back into my source portal, change it back, add it to the package and redeploy, or I can ignore it since this is a native HubSpot property. It won't affect the installation of this package. So I'm going to hit continue. As it goes through here, a couple of notes and check. Who knew? Who knew we'd have notes on check marks? If it's green, it means that Super created it. It did not exist previously in the account. The Super Package Builder created that resource within HubSpot. If it were to be blue, that would indicate to me that the resource already existed and Super skipped over it. So as you are using the Super Package Builder in installing HubSpot resources, you can be confident that Super will not duplicate double install, right? It will skip over them. How we do that is based off of the name. So if the name is the same as something that it recognizes within the account, it won't duplicate it. There are a couple of assets that we give a little bit more control over that, where a pop-up will come up saying this already exists. Do you want to create it again? Those resources are typically like dashboards and workflows. If those have the same name, you'll get that pop-up. Okay. Pretty cool, right? I mean, that was so fast. I was yapping and it's done. As you are going through and QAing, you can click on these. They kind of act as a hyperlink, right, within the account, and it will take you to that object, the dashboard, the resource, so that you can go through it, QA it, check it out, scrub out any like client-specific data like that you don't need, and be able to really perfect that resource. So this is quite helpful if you're doing like a perfect portal build, right? So you use a Super package to pull resources from other accounts that you've created that have like, let's use workflows as the example here. You can put all those workflows into a Super package, deploy them into this developer account, scrub them, QA them. So if you have things that are portal specific, like maybe it's like a meeting link or something, right, that are specific to each and unique to each account, QA that out, and then you can then use the package builder again to pull all of those resources out of this developer account and have your quote unquote perfect portal build, right? One use case for that. Okay. So let's talk about editing. I did mention that packages are a moment in time. Super does not keep an open API with HubSpot. So if I did, in fact, go in and make an edit to that custom object, and I wanted my package to reflect that, I would come into the package itself. So if I wanted to go from scratch here, I would come into partner packages, and then I would go into here, I would open it, and I'd go back to build package. So kind of like restarting from very beginning, right? When you hit create package, I would go to build package, HubSpot resources again, cut those out. And I would go to the portal that I made changes in. So if I made it in the source portal or if I made it in that developer portal, I would go there. So you can put multiple resources from multiple HubSpot accounts into a supered package. That's totally fine. So I would then go in and remove the object and re-add it. But what if I, got pulled away or, had too many tabs open, just doing too many things, whatever, and I forgot what I removed. Or maybe I'm, delete happy, remove too many things, and I don't remember. That's okay, because Supered will keep a list of your deleted resources from the package as well. So just in case you do need to re-add them, we've got you. It's okay. I'm pretty sure that this feature is solely for people like me who forget everything. I forget my own name, honestly. Let's be real. Along the lines of Supered not keeping an open API with HubSpot, as Supered also does not have the ability to delete a resource out of a portal, nor will we ever, from what I understand, which is a good thing. So if you use a Supered package to deploy a HubSpot resource into a HubSpot account that shouldn't have that resource, what you would need to do is go into HubSpot itself and delete it out manually. Supered will not pull it back out. Okay. Questions, comments, concerns, hopes, dreams, plans to take over the world. Okay. Reminder, as we go, if you have a question as it comes live, drop it in the chat. You don't need to wait for me to ask for them. Okay, let's talk about editing the details really quickly. So if you need to change the name, add in a description, edit details, we'll do that for you. It'll take you back to the screen and make it so that you can change the name. If I wanted to add in the year here, and then of course, as always, definitely hit that save button so that it saves your changes. Okay, best practices, part 2 for installation. You can absolutely go in and install, uninstall to your heart's content with these if you want to. It won't affect your installs. So it won't affect the portals of where you installed it, because we cannot remove a HubSpot resource from an account. I don't love that way to do it. It's a way to do it, absolutely. But personally, in my opinion, I think it's a little bit messy. I don't love it because I wouldn't remember where I put them. So what I like to suggest to new Supered users is to utilize this accounts right here. So in your partner button, it's just right above partner packages, create an account. And for every account that you want to put in those Supered packages into their HubSpots, you create a client account for them. This also helps in the long run as you go through and create Supered resources for them. You already have their account created, so you can just go ahead and add them into their managed accounts. So if I wanted to, we're just going to call this 1212 Co. Create that account. And from this screen directly, I can assign that package that we created. Assign to account, and then from there I would click on this link and it would walk me through the installation process for that account. So twofold reason why I like to do this: it keeps organized. It gives you that running list of where what client has gotten what package, and it also helps if you do run into errors, for us to track them a little bit easier on our side. It's less of a tangled web when you have it assigned into a client account. It's easier for us to find the packet and why the package went wrong, things like that. So it's just helpful to do it that way. In the partner screen as well, it does give you that list too of where. For internal use, would we still set that up in this partner? So if you're doing this internally, so if you're using these packages just internally, you wouldn't have to do that. I would suggest doing that install and uninstall if it's an internal use, because your partner level is your internal Supered, right? I do have one partner that does have a managed account that is for their internal team as well. And they found it useful to organize that way. So It is an option and it has been done. But personally, I would suggest just having it on your partner level is fine. Thank you, Jess. That was a good question. What I was saying here is when you're looking at partner packages, it also lists the accounts that you have the package assigned to. So you can see it in both places of where it is. We also give you the option to create tags. So if you have, a bunch of packages you don't want to scroll through, you can create a tag and bring the tag down to specifically the, why did I do that? That's what I wanted, to the tag that you created. So these are useful if you are doing specific packages for specific HubSpot resources. So if you have a package that's just custom objects, you have a package that's just workflows, something like that, you can tag them as, HubSpot dash workflow has, obviously stuff like that. So when you have a bunch of them, you only want to see ones that are specifically for workflows or custom objects, you can bring it down to this. So it shows me just those packages. Okay. So let's talk adding in supered resources. We're going to open this guy again, and we're going to go back to build package. And right in here, we have our supered resources. So with bases are your housing and your creation point for your content, right? So content being cards, being guides, being action plans too are within bases, but you'll see with action plans, we have multiple ways that you can add them into a package. So to add a card into a package, it does need to be within a base, as same goes for guides. We go over those assets in Get Supered 101, which happens every Tuesday. So you can register for that where you registered for this one. And you go in and select your base and add it in. Mirroring is really, really useful if you are creating a base that you're going to be putting into multiple client accounts. So say, you have like a working with us base that has just FAQs of working with your firm, with the team, or like it has like FAQs, or you house their SOW within a card, which I do suggest doing. It's very helpful because then it's just at their fingertips at all times to kind of see what you are doing for them. You can mirror it. What that does is every time you push a update within a base, it will push to everywhere it's been installed. So you only have to do it once. You don't need to go into each individual account. So that is useful to do it that way. I'm not going to hit mirror, but it will list your super resources up at the top here. So, and then it does give you a little note here. They always install up to date. Process rules. Again, we have a full separate camp for those. Happens on Wednesdays. I had to think really hard on that. Oh boy, Thursday's hitting me hard today. Process rules are done by tag. So it's the same kind of tagging process that we saw with packages. You would add in a tag for each process rule. I love being able to add process rules into a package so that I don't need to jump into every client account individually to recreate a process rule. I can just push it from my partner account. Updates as well as the same. You can add it through a tag. And then with action plans, it's via the template. So when you do create an action plan and you've created a template for it, you can select it via the template and add it into the package. Action plans are the only supered resource that will require the post installation configuration right now. And what do I mean by that? I mean, when you do assign a package that has an action plan in it, it will prompt you to assign it to users once you have installed into your client account. All right. Stock resources. We'll publish that just so it doesn't yell at me when I leave it. Okay. It wouldn't be me if I didn't leave y'all with a bunch of resources. So we do have this knowledge base article. It's quite useful as you are going through and building with HubSpot Resources. It is written by our CTO who built the package builder. And it goes through all of the resources that the package builder supports. It's quite hefty. She's quite long, so obviously I'm not going to read it to you, but I did drop it in the chat so you have access to it. The other resource that I want to leave you with is I'm glad that I selected the way that you can't see my bookmarks because they're messy. I don't need y'all seeing how messy my bookmarks are. Is common installation errors and troubleshooting. This helps to kind of decode what the most common errors that we see are. A couple that I want to highlight though is we have ones that come up a lot that's like this asset is not found. Easiest way to fix it, obviously, is to re-add the asset. And then you can do a single installation with your package. And then the other one I want to point out is this app cookie does not have proper permissions. That's going to be a 403 error. And that's basically saying that either you don't have the permissions within the account to create the resource that you're trying to create, or the account itself is not a high enough level. So if you're trying to take an enterprise level asset and put it into like a starter, you're going to get this error. So that does come up. I mean, not a lot, but it is common enough that we've put it in here. So the way that you fix that is either, upgrade the HubSpot account or talk to your client, talk to your super admin and say, hey, I need access in order to do this. Okay. All right, guys. That is Package Builder with HubSpot Resources. As I mentioned, you will get the recording for this camp sent to your emails by the end of the day today. Honestly, I think it's within an hour, but I don't know for sure, so I don't want to make promises I can't keep. I want to thank you for spending the last 30 minutes talking about Package Builder with me. I appreciate your time. I know that there is a lot of draw on time, especially in December. So I appreciate you being here with me. And of course, as always, stay awesome, stay strong, and stay supered. Bye, guys.